into it right now with Switzerland versus Greece.
Yeah, I think we are going, and that means we have our second crew match of the day, and we're going to see Switzerland versus Greece. My name is Dagobert, I'm here, joined with Key, and we're going to commentate this crew battle for you, and we're starting out with two very strong contestants already. It's going to be Mike.
A Fire Emblem fight too, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mike versus Lucina.
It actually is. And we're going to Battlefield, and that if there's one stage you don't want to be against Ike on, it's Battlefield. Those Nair combos can get really scary.
I think it was Emily that decided to go Battlefield though, so she must be very uncomfortable with this pick because it was her pick. But it does look to me like they're playing the neutral right now. I've never seen that anyone play that skin of Ike, like the green one. Definitely at first.
It's usually like either the default or the black reddish one, but yeah, this is the first for me as well, and it seems like players
you just
are
don't
very.
See that one.
This is a rare species of Ike.
I hear from the TOs that Switzerland might be down one player from just scheduling, but they said that they will search for a replace for the player that had to go. But we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen. So now Emily versus Mike seems to be a pretty even game.
Yeah, it seems fairly even. We saw a kind of weird out of shield punish there from Mike, who went with the up B instead of an up tilt or an up smash, maybe just to get the safe damage in. And it seems that Emily is kind of stuck at the ledge at this point, has to jump over that, but the forward tilt is going to duck under the neutral air.
It seals the deal for Emily, and it starts a very small lead for Switzerland. We're going to see how Emily answers that. It's a very ledge game. They're playing like a very slow on the ledge game. You can see them just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Emily has to find something to seal that stock though, because it's kill percent and Emily finds herself on the ledge and an SD from Sam.
Yeah, Emily interrupts it, tries to counter it, but it doesn't matter. Mike is not gonna come back from that anyway, and now it's Emily's turn to keep up the pressure. Mike already got a small lead with that 62% from the few hits, but Lucina should be able to just build those damn percents herself as well. But you said, it's a very ledge game as set for this point.
You just see a little back and forth on the ledge. You're going back and forth on the ledge, and every single time it's someone else. They're playing like they're hitting each other's shields, but they don't seem to be keeping a string up for far too long. You can just see them playing a very slow game, and both of these characters kind of in your face usually. Yeah. But this is online that we're talking about, and.
Yeah, I do get that. Yeah.
This must be, speaking of online, this must be just okay. There we go.
It's the full package, baby.
It's Crash Ultimate. They better fix that. They better see that.
Oh man.
Back to that fire and the dash attack steals the stock.
Surprisingly,
two stocks behind.
You said there were a lot of shields, but the one thing I haven't really seen is grabs. I see a lot of people, or these two players, getting in each other's faces and just whiffing a move or just a falling neutral or an up tilt, but I haven't seen that many grabs actually. And especially for a character like Ike, you want those grabs.
Yeah, but characters kind of do utilize their grabs to start their strings, and we have not seen much. But Mike has a very established lead at this point, and he doesn't seem all too worried about Emily on the ledge. Another dash attack, and this might be it. But Emily barely survives that. And if she loses that stock, it's just going to be like a whole player down for Greece. And I think this should be it. And it's a whole player. Oh no, I mean it's a whole player minus one stock because Emily did take one stock from mine. But barely surviving with that second stock on 158. And we're going to be seeing what Greece answers against the Ike.
Yeah, letting that stock sit at 160% and not taking it is a big blow because the percentage is reset. And that means all those percentages you have built onto Mike is now gone for the second game, which means he has two stocks to work with. And I'm very curious to see how this is going to happen. Of course, we saw Battlefield, and we talked about how that's kind of a Ike good stage for Ike.
Yeah, it's a very Ike-centric stage.
Yeah, and especially with all those ledge games from Ike. But the thing is, right, we didn't see a lot of grabs. And maybe because I saw a lot of unsafe options on the shield of Emily, maybe they're going to pick someone with a very grab-centric game. maybe they're gonna pick someone who maybe can do something about those areas from Ike, or maybe interrupt them, because it seems the key point at this point likes the punish those unsafe areas on Shield. That's where the main point lies now.
I think at this point, Greece should consider picking someone that is more well versed into online, because Emily doesn't a very good player, but she doesn't really play that much online, and
Yeah.
it shows. It shows in the conflict sometimes. In Greek, the Greek team does have a lot of people that play a lot of online, and I think the best choice at this point isn't so much to decide on which character is going to take those 2 stocks from Ike, and because there are a lot of good options, but like someone that is just well versed into that online game.
Yeah.
And it does seem to me like they're deciding on that right now. So we're gonna see.
Interesting. I would presume, like, if we look at how Mike played, they're gonna throw out Elkos, which is a Bowser player, and that would basically solve 2 problems. That would solve the problems of the unsafe areas on Shield. You have that B to punish those, and it will kind of solve the problem we saw with Emily, that it's getting killed at like 80-90%. Ike does have those very strong tilts and the up air, so maybe Bowser could be a very great pick in this situation. Get rid of those 2 stocks Mike has left.
Yeah, and Elkos is the captain of the Greek team.
Yeah.
I hear that he's been practicing for this event, so he should be a good pick. But I don't know if they're keeping him for last, or they're keeping him for. They're gonna send him now to just upset that like big deficit that Mike set down with those 2 stocks.
Maybe it's gonna be a secret weapon later down the line. You never know.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about the Greek team? Because I have looked at most of the players, and I couldn't find information of any of them. But
yeah,
are there
it's a small team. A lot of them are PR'd. So we have Elkos, who is a Bowser player. He used to be the #1 for a little bit in the PR. He hasn't played in the season. Baburas is an up-and-coming player. I think right now he's ranked up #2 in our locals. So he's definitely making like a name for himself. Very well versed in online too. So he's definitely like a strong pick for the Greek team. I think we might be seeing him at this point. And we got Scots, who's a banjo. Deruda, a Zelda that I've only ever seen online, definitely more like online than I've ever seen locally. Odie, the Kirby, definitely some unique characters in Greece. Nick Ford, who plays another bunch of very unique characters, mainly a Samus as of late. Castillo, who's our low tier king, he just plays every low tier. And the moment they buff him, he's like, yeah, no more of that, no thank you. If it's not a low tier, you see him rocking the Jigglypuff, the DDD, the Dr. Mario. He will not play Mario. He will just play Dr. Mario because he's worse. Emily, who just so usually a fox, as far as I know. Different regions of Greece. But I think she mains Fox, and she decided to bring out that Lucina, which didn't go so well, but it was a good showing either way. Gold with the Bio and the ZSS, and Mr. Spanky with the Ness, another local player that is up and coming as far as results. Kind of a new batch of players that are making a new showing.
So it's a very interesting mix of like just veterans, high-ranking players, and up and coming.
Yeah, it's also very like it has something from it's not all in one city. It has something from every region at this point. They do big regions. Emily, we saw, is like from up above, like the second biggest city, and so is Gold, for instance. They are going with Babras, who's the player I mentioned being like second in the locals right now, and has put in a lot of work into online to play in this event. They're doing the bans, and we should be seeing the game soon.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a Rob versus a Ike, and maybe Barbaros can keep Ike off stage a little bit better. Maybe interrupt those quick draws with the forward airs or the rotor arm. Maybe just trying to get him prevent him from getting back to the stage and interrupting those stocks a lot earlier, because they need that lead right now. They took only 1 stock from the Swiss team. Meanwhile, they lost 3 of them. So currently it's 14-12 for the Swiss team. So they have a lot of catching up to do. Maybe he can't do it. It does seem like a very swingy matchup where that can happen, but it also depends a lot on the stage. So I think we should wait for that. And it seems like
I think we're going into it, yeah.
All right.
Barbaros is one of our most patient players and one of our bigger zoners, I suppose. So it was a good pick to just take it slow and get those stocks. It's only a 2-stock deficit. It's nothing for Rob, who can just like get you a stock at any moment, especially online. Getting those 10 second start up, and I think we should be going into it right now.
Yeah, it seems we're already starting the neutral. A bunch of neutral airs from both players actually. Both Ike and Rob have fantastic neutral airs online, which can lead to a lot of damage. And we already see very.
Mike has been so far like in his face, hasn't let him set up anything. Final destination too, like no platforms for Ike. A better choice this time for combating Ike, because this is no platforms for him to just capitalize on his grabs and his strings. It seems to be in Mike's favor at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't have...
That's not the stuff good DI.
Luckily he survives that. Yeah, he said there are no platforms, but it also has one more thing that means that it's going to be a lot harder to land against Ike. You are a big target, so you need to move quickly around in the air in order to dodge those up airs. And if you don't have any platforms to help you with that, that may be a game changer at one point. Luckily, we see Barbaros making a little bit of a comeback and getting some nice damage in there.
Playing a little slower, setting up those gyros. But back here is going to get the stop from Barbaros, and we're going to... Now, Greece is down 4 stocks, and we're in the same stocks in this match, and it's just looking tough.
Yeah.
Remember when I said about that one player deficit from Switzerland? Doesn't look like they have any problem with that, because they're just tearing through right now.
It seems to be going just fine right now, but they need to get rid of that stock. That Ike again, Mike at 148%. Ooh, he does not have a double
gyro. Should be the stock. One more to go. Very good. That's sake from Barbaros.
Yeah. And those are those situations you want to see Robin getting those early stocks from a character with a very exploitable recovery, especially with those very flexible projectiles from Rob. Just get that double jump out of the way, and then it should be a very easy edge guard. But the point is, getting Ike off stage and getting the double jump can be very hard.
Yeah, getting out of stage is very hard, and also Barbaros is playing a very big character. It's just like a big target for Ike's sword. Just do those combos that are very deadly.
It seems to be looking quite good, 66% on Mike right now. Barbaros still has 2 stocks to make this happen, even though that doesn't mean they're on the leader. If he's gonna get Mike out of the way, because he is shown to be a very strong player in this crew battle, and there goes
should be the stock, yeah. Those very strong up airs, just tearing through. It's the second stock that almost, like, I think it's the second stock.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there we go.
Luckily he still has a double jump.
Very smart from Mike, who's just doing such a good job for his team right now. Going almost in his second player and still tearing through, still putting up that fight.
Yeah, he himself already got 5 stocks from this crew battle, but it seems like 5 stocks is always going to get. Barbaros getting the up smash and getting rid out of Mike, who has done a fantastic job on the start of the crew battle for the Swiss team.
That get up attack was definitely a good idea to just... That was definitely a bad idea, because it got punished and that was it. But Mike did take 2 stocks from Barbaros, which is one of the better players, considered one of Greece's better players in this lineup. So it's definitely not looking good for Greece at this point. Down their starter Emily, and Barbaros is lingering in 1 stock, and they could just send anything at this point. They could just send anything to combat that. Though Switzerland does have like a very interesting lineup if you look at it. They have a Little Mac, they have the Ike that we just saw, they have and Isabel. It's like just incredible that, like, if they send a Little Mac, I'd be just jank. I think Smuff, they're down Smuff. Smuff said that they couldn't make it, but they do have a lineup of 10 people, so I don't know if it's actually going to become a problem or not. It had to, the stream had to go on, so Smuff went to find a replacement. We're gonna see how that goes, but they have such an interesting lineup. You just don't see PR, like you don't see Little Mac very often. Though Greece does have like Barbaros has his fair share of Little Mac experience, seeing as we do have a very good Little Mac over here.
Oh yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah, you said it's a very interesting lineup. It's a mix of like typical Wi-Fi characters like Mega Man, like Toon Link, and like Ness, but also some very oddball picks, as you said, Little Mac, Isabel, Captain Falcon, even though he can't make it. Those are very interesting picks to play online because in comparison to other characters, they can struggle a bit online. That's why I think Emily went Lucina instead of Fox.
Instead of Fox,
So,
and
Fox
the Falcon
online is a whole different beast.
Yeah, the Falcon might struggle online too. The Pikachu, it's a lot of characters that are very precision based, and online can. And the online is also like not just the same between countries. Like your lag might be a bit heightened with someone that's more far away. It's just that you have to adapt to the online, and some of these characters are just a lot worse in terms of just playing them and just getting everything set up to work.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of online characters and in their disposal. It's a very well balanced team in terms of that. They have like their the more technical, the more offline characters. They have like their online hitters. We're gonna see though. We're gonna see what they're gonna send against Barbaras, who is a bit of both at this point. A little bit of online and a little bit of offline.
Yeah, a mixed bag at that point. Yeah. I secretly want to see one of the Kirby's come out. Kirby is one of those characters you don't see very often.
And we
But
have two of them, yeah.
yeah, but when people dedicate themselves to maining such a character, it's gonna be a show. They have so many tricks up their in their bags. They can just pull out at any point. So I'm very curious to see one of those. But I'm also very curious to see what Isabel is gonna do online. It's a very zony character. But there are a lot of players in the Greece team who can break those zones or zone themselves.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to see when they're gonna pull out the Isabel or pull out something like Little Mac. Which
I mean,
characters
Isabel
are
is a good pick against something like Rob because
precisely.
of the pocket. We're gonna be seeing, I believe. Like, let me see. Let me
It's
make sure.
Smuff.
No, it's not
It is?
Smuff. It's gonna be Mojo, according to Smuff.
Oh,
They might just
okay.
be sharing like a switch or something. It happens a lot.
I'll roll with it. I'll just roll with it to see where we go.
I mean, at this point, yeah. I wouldn't. If we say Captain Falcon here, it's definitely gonna be Smuff.
Yeah. He is in the arena. Okay, interesting. They're gonna do a little.
Mega Man, so it is Mojo, right?
It is gonna be Mojo. Yeah, it's Mojo. So okay.
And sometimes
cool.
his roommates and his friends just gather around in one place, and that's fine.
Maybe just honor his episode not being there by changing his tag to that. It's gonna be Barbaras from Greece versus Muff from Switzerland.
Definitely not much of the Greece, like the Greek players who know how to play. Like, we do not have Mega Mans. We just don't. It's a small scene, and Mega Man is definitely not there.
Yeah, Mega Man really plays his own game, so you need to know how the character works in order to correctly play against it. And I want to see how Smuff is going to make use of that. As you said, there are not a lot of Mega Mans, so maybe Barbaras is going to be a little bit more perceptible to those combos. You already see some Metal Blade combos, and that's a very red flag we see here. We see Barbaras jumping in the up air, and
jumping against the up air. That's a big no-no against Mega Man. You do not want to lose that stock early.
I hope that was a misinput, but that's a very big red flag for the Greece team.
Yep, and Barbaras is one of the very few players that can zone out Mega Man and just play that zoning game, and you really don't want to lose all your stocks immediately. You want to take at least 2 small stocks for it to be like a very bright day for Greece.
You want to at least get something. All right, gets the leaf shield and reads the spot dodge on the ground there, and now Barbaras is in the corner. Smuff is going to send him back into there.
Setting up the ledge.
Yeah.
Oh, between the gyro and just everything on that ledge. Yeah, getting back roll was the best option, but Smuff was there to punish even lightly. Leaf shield coming out.
Alright, that's a good thing. Ooh, almost gets the forward smash. It's not going to kill, but the forward smash does send very far off stage. And that Mega Man back there is such a big hitbox to play around as well. So that's a very dangerous thing to have against you on that stage. But it seems like Barbaras is returning a little bit of the projectile game back at Mojo. Gets the grab and throws him off stage. But the best of edge guards there.
Yep, back to the neutral. Barbaras though in 125. Definitely getting to those kill percents, even if Rob is heavy. Smuff, definitely putting some dent on Smuff though. We're seeing a bit slower of the game, and that backer should be it though. With Barbaras out, and he's down down to players at this point. They really have to consider their game plan, because it looks to me like Switzerland has a very, very comfortable lead at this point.
Yeah, it seems like he didn't lose a single stock. He barely dodged the up smash, because if he got hit by the up smash at that point, that would have been surely would have taken the stock and just small, getting the lead a bit smaller. But now it seems like Switzerland has only lost their first players. Meanwhile, Greece is already down 2 players, so that means there's a detriment of 3 stocks, I believe.
Yep.
That's not a good thing. Yeah, if you're the third person for that, you have the pressure on you of, I need to close this gap a little bit. I need to make sure that my position counts here, and I get to take those stocks. And that's a very high demand you have there, a very high pressure situation. So
yeah, when you're down this many stocks, it becomes all about how good your performance is. It's not just fighting your opponent that's in front of you. It's about keeping those stocks and just capitalizing on them, just getting the momentum, getting more stocks than you give.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious to see who they're gonna swap out. Mega Man is a very zony character, as you said, good against Rob, but Greece team needs something to break that zone with. And could this be gold coming out with the ZSS?
It's possible, but knowing a lot of these players, they do struggle with projectiles. So I think we might be seeing either Skolt's another very zony player that can walk around projectors, or we're gonna see the man himself, Alphos, with the Bowser. Though I believe it's not like a very good choice in terms of matchups to take the Bowser out against the Mega Man.
No, it could happen, but it could also go horribly wrong. It's one or the other. It's not going to be in between. Yeah,
and Castillo is another good choice. His characters are not really like they don't like, you don't see them and you don't feel threatened, but he is a very well versed adjustable player, and he's never struggled too much with projectiles. So at this point, they should be thinking about like the Mega Man, I think, and what they're gonna do with the Mega Man, other than like who's their strongest player. And it's just all strategic when you're this far behind.
Yeah, you really need to make those character picks count. You need to break that zone and get back to the equal playing ground, because right now you're
gonna be seeing Castillo. Actually, they're gonna be sending that. I told you that.
Oh yeah,
the best choice against Mega Man is the adjustable, the most well-adjusted player, the one that's more likely to just because it is just a matchup that we don't have. A lot of these players have never played a Mega Man, and it's like a first.
Yeah.
So it's the wisest choice here is to send your more adjustable player that is just going to make anything of it. And they're going to Battlefield with Castillo. Okay. And he's sending up the Jigglypuff.
Interesting. Hey, Jigglypuff is going to approach from the air. Maybe that's going to make Mega Man's neutral a little bit harder for him. But that also increases the risk of dying of those uppers while you're jumping in it. Jigglypuff is extremely light, so you don't know how early those stocks can just fly out of the window when that happens.
Yeah, you also want to watch that recovery. Like, Jigglypuff has the ability to return to the stage in many different ways, and you don't have to grab the ledge necessarily, but Jigglypuff has to be extra careful of those back airs from Mega Man on the ledge, because they will kill you, and they will kill you early.
Very strong tool indeed, yes. So, okay, it's going to be a Mega Man versus Jigglypuff on Battlefield. So, I think we're just waiting for the players to get ready in order to start the match. Yeah, it seems we are going. All right, let's see if Mojo is still able to hold onto a stock, or if the Greek team has something up their sleeves to get rid of those.
Yeah, if Castillo is that trump card that the Greek team needs, but yet another matchup that you just don't see that much. Oh, no, way better reaction to that. No jump, but arrows. Oh, full charge. Okay. Two smashes.
Sure. He had some visionary there. He had some plan.
he was already 3 steps ahead, but it just never happened.
All right. Oh, that's the rush down there from Mega Man. Mojo is doing a decent job, actually. Already 50% on Jigglypuff. And that's
it's also like important to note that Mojo just didn't lose any stocks. We're just going into this like it's a normal singles bracket match. 3v3.
Yeah.
And the rollout.
We thought that Switzerland was missing a player, but it seems like Greece is missing a player. If you look.
Two.
Yeah. All right. Oh, tries to approach with the foreigner, but Metablade is there to interrupt it. Another Metablade. Ooh, barely. I'm fairly certain they wanted. Mojo wanted the back out there. Didn't get out of it in time, and that's gonna maybe end the stock for him because that means that Castillo is gonna live through that.
Looks to me like the floatness of Jigglypuff is doing a Castillo a lot of favors though, because you can see Smurf keeps aiming things. Oh, well, speaking of that, the F smash seals the stock for Castillo, and we're looking at a massive deficit for Greece right now. It stocks to 13.
Seems very hard. All right, that's a good forward. Ooh, has to add us to the stage, but does not get punished for that. Jigglypuff has
very smart leaf shield right there. Covers the roll.
Seems that Mojo is all over Castillo at this point, just escaping death barely multiple times.
144 and still not dead too. Castillo doesn't seem to have the answers to the Mega Man either.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like a forward air off stage from Jigglypuff or even a narrow stage should be able to do it, but he needs to find them, and Mojo is being as slippery as he can.
The Pounds didn't do it either, so we're looking at 164. That Mega Man is just. And speaking of, it's always when you say that he's not gonna die, that he dies. But Castillo takes that one stock with 56 on himself right now, and it's not an even game, but in terms of this match, it's even stocks at least.
It's more even than before.
Yeah, it's definitely like a light for the Greek team. You do. Yeah. Oh, that's a very good string from Castillo. Very, very good string. He's still going.
He does not have a double jump, so this is a very dangerous position to be in. Has to use Russian air dodge.
There we go. Just very clean from Castillo.
Yeah.
It's just one exchange. Technically one exchange with one disadvantage, and he just took the stock. Amazing. That is what they need to be doing. Exactly. Rollout again. Definitely never a good choice.
That's something you shouldn't do.
Definitely not like one of the moves that you want to be seeing. That back air doesn't feel very good in the eye. But it is time for it is those percentage of Jigglypuff is very comfortable to be on stage, and you do see the back air.
And a giant back air, even though you have a lot of jumps and a lot of air drift, that back air is just going to send you off stage if you're not careful. And now
it's just down to who gets that one stop and seals that game.
Yeah, we saw that Castillo has the potential to go for the games. Ooh, Mojo still has the double jump. Luckily, there again goes off stage, and it seems like the game has switched from a neutral position to just constantly off stage interactions.
Yeah, it's who gets that gimp at this point. Yeah, who gets that back for that gimp. Very, very overzealous down there by Jigglypuff, but it's not punished heavily. Another back air, Castillo needs to reconsider how he returns to the stage, which is he's just eating those back airs like one after the other.
He's looking a little bit too much to get Mojo off the stage and gimp him again. He's just flying at him. It's not really taking anything into consideration. It seems just flying at him and hitting him.
Oh, the shield though. He just put so much pressure into that. It was like one hit away from breaking. Yeah,
but it are 4 forward tilts after each other. That's kind of risky to do, man. Mega Man does have an up smash out of shield.
Right now. Very, very smart of Smurf to return a different way so he doesn't get hit by that Jigglypuff there. Very nice, very good. Doing Greece a very big favor right now, even with that one stock. This is the life that we needed to see from Greece.
Okay, getting that amazing roll read from the ledge and punishing him with the rest. It is a Jigglypuff classic, but it's a very important classic to have at that point because
it's ballsy too.
Yeah, it's ballsy, but the detriment is a bit smaller now. Jigglypuff does have another stock to work with.
I think it's 10 to 8 or something, 10 to 7.
Yeah, something like that. But at least Castillo can get another round. I don't know if they're allowed to switch characters in between matches.
No, I don't think you can. I think you're locked to the character, but I don't think he wants to at this point.
Okay, so we're going to see the Jigglypuff again. Okay.
we're probably going to see that Jigglypuff again. Castillo just tends to stick to his guns. He doesn't really care about matchups. Does someone who played Jigglypuff look like they care about matchups?
Yeah, okay, that's true. You just pick him at that point. But who's the Swiss team gonna send out? Looks like the Mojo zoning tool is not gonna work against it. So maybe they wanted something to contest Jigglypuff in the airwave, or at least get that approach, cancel that approach a little bit. And
well, the good thing about for Switzerland right now is that they, whatever player they send, Castillo doesn't have time to adjust to their game plan because it's just one stock. And as you saw, Castillo only adjusted to Mojo in the second stock, where they started doing those long strings that took the stock and started just being overbearing on the ledge, and Mega Man just couldn't return. But he doesn't have that advantage anymore because he only has one stock. So whoever they send, I believe it's going to be an easy match, and it's Jigglypuff. So like
it's a one stock Jigglypuff against 3. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard.
Switzerland.
Even if you are a very experienced and great Jigglypuff, it's still you're a Jigglypuff with one stock. You're oof.
It must be just a mountain for Castillo, for whoever they go up against. It's a lot. But they did do that. I think they did so far. They've done like the most for the Greek team, and we just gotta hope for that Castillo run with one stock. And we're gonna see the tournament.
All right, we're gonna see Yodo come out from the Swiss team, trying to avenge his fellow Mega Man in also participating in a very zony game. But let's see how Toon Link is gonna work with that. Of course, the bombs are maybe gonna get a anti-air from.
Bombs are definitely a better anti-air against Jigglypuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially if you hit one, then that forward air is inevitable. And Jigglypuff being very light, that maybe Jigglypuff could die very soon there. But Toon Link's recovery is not that great if you have a lot of area pressure from the stage. So
Toon Link, also a small character, definitely not ideal for Jigglypuff to just combo off the stage because of how small he is and how precision-based those combos need to be.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a good pick for Switzerland.
It's a very, I think it's a very safe pick. Because you don't want to take any risks at that point. You just want to get the Jigglypuff out of the way and not lose any more stock. So just get someone who will counter those.
Oh, that rollout! Speaking of bad moves that you just don't want to see, that rollout almost took that shield down. But unfortunately for Castillo, it survived by just a little bit.
Yeah. Jigglypuff now at 115%. I think she's out of the bomb confirm range.
Oh, and that forward smash, just throwing it out there after the back air, and that's gonna be it. The Jigglypuff, not the most durable of characters, and we're gonna be seeing the fourth player for Greece against the third player for Switzerland.
Who needs bomb setups when you can just dash back forward smash?
Sometimes you just seal the back air and you just smash, and that's it.
Yeah. Just get rid of the thing. Just smash it out of here.
Castillo couldn't get that one stock, so that line is beginning to dwindle a little for Greece. Down one entire player at this point.
So yeah,
they
need a very big comeback in order to close the gap. It's gonna still be Yodo with a Toon Link, but what is the answer from the Greek team?
Yeah, the question here is: are they gonna go all out and send the most established player, I should say, or are they gonna send another zoner to deal with the zoner?
Yeah, because you said there are a lot of great players, there are a lot of new players, but they still have 2 players to go, and we haven't seen Alcos, we haven't seen Gold. So, and those were the names you were calling earlier for being very, very great players in this crew battle. So maybe you're just gonna stick to those 2, but it's still, you only have 2 players left. Which ones are you gonna choose?
We might be seeing, if they're not going Alcos, we might be seeing someone like Spanky with the Ness. A very popular online character that I wouldn't say it struggles against Toon Link online, at least. But it's anything goes at this point. They might just go like full force and just send Alcos, which definitely not the best pick against Toon Link, I would say. We didn't see a lot of bombs, but it's possible that Yodo just didn't want to use them against a Jigglypuff because it's just more optimal.
Yeah, just getting more of those defensive approaches in the bomb, throwing the bomb and hitting and confirm is a big commitment, and if you miss it, Jigglypuff is going to surely punish that, especially since you need to full hop that. So yeah, it maybe he just played it safe. Maybe he's keeping them from this match in order to completely go ham with them in the second match of his European crew battle career for now. But it's hard to say who they're gonna send out. I think there are still a couple of players who can counter the Toon Link. You said the Ness, I think, is a very good pick for that. But maybe they're gonna full force. Maybe they're just gonna say, all right, we're not gonna care anymore about good matchups. You're gonna send out our best players.
We have to do something about that deficit.
Yeah, that's a choice you have to make. Are you gonna stick with matchup picks, or are we just gonna send our best players onto the field now?
Yeah, and at this point, you really have to. It's all down to that strategy. It's down to just deciding like this is the moment where it's that last player. It's that second to last player that's gonna seal the deal. So you have to make a good pick. And they are sending the Nick for the sandwich.
Okay.
That's
interesting
definitely
pick.
not something I expected, but
Don't think we saw that coming, both of us. So maybe they're gonna make it work. Samus is also a very zony character, but especially that charge up is gonna just reek through those Toon Link projectiles.
Nick 4 known for an up-and-coming player. It definitely hasn't really shown up. Nick 4 just kind of appeared with the quarantine, up-and-coming, plays the game a lot, but we haven't seen Nick 4 in locals, so an up-and-coming player. So maybe that's why I didn't consider that they sent Nick 4 the second last player.
Yeah.
It's a zoning game, as you can see. They're just exchanging projectiles at this point.
Man, it's Kalos. It sure is Kalos.
It's Callus and Nick for not that direction. Like, I don't know what he was wearing there. But we are seeing more of those bombs. Definitely not set up a very interesting way. He's throwing them in front or on the ground. But it's an even game so far with a 22-33. Nick 4 starting a small string, getting the percents down to practically the same. Another down smash.
I think those bombs are more so to just force Samus to make mistakes, maybe just get a jump in or something, or add pressure, not really anything to set up from this point. He is keeping him at the latch for most of the time, but now
at this point, he so many down smashes have hit. It's just straight mark at this point. Yeah, I think it's 4 or 5 down smashes that hit Yodo. And he doesn't look like he has the answer to approach him right now. And every time he does, he gets down smashed. So a good start for Nick 4.
And that's what I was talking about with the projectile. Samus charged the charge shot halfway through, and it went through both the bomb and the boomerang.
A very good setup of the forced him to approach and go grab and back thrown. And Nick 4 with a good throwing for the first stock.
Yeah, you might have those platforms there, but that forward air is going to catch you even if you're up there, and that strong Dark Samus forward air is going to secure the first stock for Nick 4.
Nick 4 gets back at it though, and finds the moment he finds himself on that ledge instead of Yodo, he loses his stock. Greece down 8-5 at this point. Not a huge deficit. It's only one player, but on paper. It's a disadvantage that you don't want to have. Nick 4 needs to play the slow game. He needs to go back to just doing what he did in the first talk, not allowing him to go anywhere near to get those setups to get the kill.
Yeah,
because bombs cannot kill you, but those smashes, those powerful like Toon Link smashes will.
Yoda is putting a lot of projectile pressure on Nick 4 now, so maybe that's why he's cracking a little bit. A lot of percent just building up for him.
Back to the ledge though. It doesn't seem like anything came out of it, but that neutral B, the half B, not neutral B. Didn't really do much. Again, we are seeing a lot of repetition of these players. A lot of down smash and neutral B.
Yeah, the thing is that the up B from Dark Samus is a very good tool to just, or for the up B from Toon Link, I'm sorry, is a very good tool to kill players. It's spin attack that kills the with the multi-hit. Like, Link's spin attack is very strong at the beginning.
Oh no, an
but
SD from Nick
has
Ford
the
though.
multi-hit, and that one multi-hit is just gonna send Nick Ford down there, and he's not being able to recover from that. That's a big loss there. So that's gonna make
definitely a big loss that didn't have to happen there. Nick Ford reacted way too fast on that neutral beat. It probably didn't expect to be hit by that on the stage.
Oh
and
my
he
god!
lost the stage. Happens, but at the same time, it's just a big loss. Definitely will do. Will just not be good for his momentum right now. But he needs to stay composed and get that stall.
Yeah, you say that, but instantly after you lost the stock, he already got on 83% already. It's now 100% on Nick Ford's counter, which means those bomb setups are going to be very dangerous. You see the Yoda looking for them, just seeing what he can do. It's going to be a back for there, but that's not going to kill. Just sending him off stage and maybe getting something out of the double bomb, but no follow-up.
Nick Ford on that tournament stock, it's all down to what he does now. This could very well be his tournament stock, like how this is going. And saying that he gets back aired from in midair and Greece down to their last player, we have to be seeing Elkos at this point.
I'm 99% sure that's gonna happen. Yeah, you have one player
it would be crazy not to send Elkos at this point, the captain, you know.
Even though it's against Toon Link, we said earlier that matchup might not be the smartest choice to engage yourself in. You don't have anything else to work with at this point, I would presume. Or at least not that much.
At this point, yeah, you have to send your strongest and finest against what is practically, like, I think 2 or 3 players for Switzerland. It's Yodel and 2 more.
Yeah. So
looking very grim for Greece, definitely, but at least they have to do. If they can't win this, they have to make sure it's just down to the wire. Yeah. And at this point, Elkos seems like the best choice.
Greece has to free stock the Swiss player twice, actually, and then not lose the second stock there. So that's going to be a very big challenge there.
Yeah, how they do it is definitely like it's up to interpretation. They might be able to lose like 2 and then just go like with 1 stock, just go through them. But how many times do you see that? Yeah, realistically,
the one health hero coming through. Yeah, but you don't like it's very unlikely that's going to happen. But I can see a chance, especially with a character like Bowser, who just refuses to die at some point.
Yep. Yeah. And Toon Link definitely not the character that has a very strong in-your-face, I will kill you at 50 setups, but Bowser is a big target, and you can set up a lot of things against him, and that's his big downfall.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, if those setups are just going to get reset at the end of the day, that it's not going to be the end of the world as long as you keep your stock while tanking those setups or just dodging them. But we'll see.
Yeah. We haven't seen a lot of very technical Toon Link play from, no. But still, you're Bowser and you're being pelted by bombs.
Yeah, it's gonna rack up a lot of damage quickly, and maybe force you in a position you don't want to. Maybe sneak out a double jump from you there, because a lot of players want to instantly jump when they get hit by those bombs to dodge that forward air. And if he can get rid of Bowser's double jump, his recovery is not the best. So then a quick forward air off the stage will be the end of his career.
Yeah, you can risk it at this point. You can risk those edge guards because you're this much in front. At the same time, there's so many strategies that Switzerland can pursue right now. They can go from those dangerous plays, knowing it's Bowser and Bowser is very exploitable. They can just play it slow because they have nothing to lose by doing that.
Agree with you there. So still choosing which player they want to send out. Of course, it's a big choice you have to make. It's potentially your final choice you have.
I would say it's a big choice, but it's definitely like one of the most obvious ones, I believe. They're striking stages, but I don't see it needing them yet. Maybe it's their last go, so it makes sense that they would
pull Elkos out. Yeah, send him out there. Go get him, boy. Go, crew him up. But the thing is, like, let's just imagine that Elkos, if he gets sent out, that he beats Yodel. You still have a very scary catalog of characters to play against. You have a Pikachu to play against. you have a Terry to play against, and an Isabel. So there are a lot of characters who can really make Bowser's life a living hell. Yeah, okay, it's an obvious choice, but they still made it. It's gonna be Bowser. Ooh, on Yoshi's, and that's a very good stage for King Koopa.
I think in terms of just Alphas, a lot of his big wins have been in this stage, and it's very obvious why.
It's either Battlefield or Yoshi's if you're gonna play Bowser, and you want to play it optimally.
Yep, I'm surprised they even let him go there. All things considered, you just that's one of the first stages that you ban against Bowser. Just get rid of the time lads. You're gonna get side B and you're gonna die early. And someone like Toon Link doesn't have that much weight to put up with Bowser's just immense kill power.
Good string there from Yodel. Ooh,
speaking of the top platform.
Gets the side B, and on the top platform, it's not gonna kill. Ooh, that's a down B, but it's gonna land on the platform, so a lot of ad lag there. Not gonna get punished though.
The platform did give him something, and then it took it away. Grabs the bomb. Nothing out of it though. Gets down there to up air, and we're back to neutral, but Elkos is already on those red percents. Not a problem for Bowser, but you want to see those 3 stocks coming if it's going to be any chance of these. And that F smash is just like not good. He doesn't have his jump anymore. Oh, but that should be it. That should be it for the spot. Very good DI from Yodo. I thought that would be it for Toon Link, but Yodo surviving, which he should have done considering his percent. Going for that edge guard, but doesn't get anything out of it. Very good side up B. Doesn't get the sock either. Very good DI from Yodo.
Okay, blows himself up to just give him a little more space to recover. Haven't seen any down smashes from Elkos at this point. Down smash, especially with those slanted stages, will reach very far off the ledge.
Yeah, maybe. And definitely a good way to still stop early. But speaking of that, inside the still stop, but the back air. Seals Elkos's with Greece only having 2 stocks now against the 8 from Switzerland, the 7 from Switzerland.
Yeah, he's still got Yodo's still on his last stock as well, so they at least got something in it. They start, so maybe Elkos can make this happen. Just get another player in from the Swiss team and maybe just get him through. But right now, Yodo seems to be applying a lot of pressure, sticking Bowser in that corner and in positions he doesn't want to. 2 up airs in a row. It's already 81% on Elkos, who really has to watch out what he's doing right now.
Yep. It's just he got a lot of side Bs down, but it seems to me like Yodo is beginning to adjust to his playstyle and starting to aim those hits a little safer, hit his shield a little safer so he doesn't get the grab immediately upon landing. And we're looking at a match more confident looking Yodo at the ledge right now.
Right, wall jumps there to get the boomerang in, getting up
and the back doesn't kill him.
Oh, tries to get the bomb and he forward there, but just get a neutral air down there. And yeah, you
somehow recovers from that, yeah.
Sure, I was gonna say he has all the ways to just go off stage and prevent Elkos from recovering, but not getting
Speaking
anything
of Bowser
there.
not dying, 195. How often do you see that 200 come?
Welcome to Bowser.
That boomerang might have saved him actually.
Ooh.
Oh, that lingering hitbox there.
Yeah, that's the difficulty with that up B. Like if you're gonna neutral get up, while it's happening, you're still gonna die of it. No get up attack. Get up attack is the best option there, but you still have to hit.
Greece's tournament stock just lies on that one element stock right now, single elimination. So this, if he loses that, this is the last we'll be seeing of Greece.
Oh, that should be it.
A last minute. Side B from Elkos seals the deal for Yodo, and with 1 stock for Elkos, we're going to be seeing him go against the 4th player, I believe, for Switzerland.
Yeah, the thing is, and that's like he won that, and that's very great. But the thing is, he lost at he won at a very unfortunate point where he just lost his stock. Like,
if there was any moment sooner, this would have been so much greater for Elkos. He would have 2 stocks and. And he would have that 1 stock to adjust to the new to what's about to come, which he wouldn't be able to just give that away either because he is the last player. But 1 stock is 1 stock when it comes down to this.
Yeah, he just saved only 9%, so that's gonna be hard. And I said it before, but Switzerland has a lot of characters who can make Bowser sweat a lot. The character I think is going to be the most likely to make Bowser sweat a lot, especially with other stocks, might be Destiny with the Terry. Of course, Bowser being a very big combo food, Terry is going to get a lot of those interactions, and then, yeah, on small stages he can just completely demolish Bowser's approach.
Either Destiny with the Terry, or maybe Sick Boy with the Pikachu. Pikachu can just start one string of Bowser and it's over if you just don't do the right things. It is online though, so a lot of things are like much harder to pull off than offline for Pikachu. But either way, it looks like a very uphill battle for Elcos with the Bowser.
A bit tight, yeah. Well, seems they have a lot of time to decide which they're going to send out. Even if this doesn't work, they still have one player left for the Swiss team, so it's all. I want to say it's almost in the bag, but Bowser is one of those characters who can just rob stocks. Actually, just rob them.
Yep, I think what Greece is saying from a Greek perspective is that they have played a lot of matchups that they just don't know. Greece is a small scene that doesn't have. You already saw like 2 Kirby's in one place. We do tend to just gravitate to like a few very specific characters, and there's a lot of Nesses, there's a lot of Kirby's, and definitely haven't played like Mega Man's. And how often would a Greek player would have played like a Toon Link? It just doesn't. They don't have that much of experience, and I think it shows.
Still waiting.
Seems to me like Switzerland is still deciding. Have the the smart with the Falco. Definitely not what I expected to see.
Okay, sure. I guess it's still exploiting that combo weight from Bowser, and yeah, one up just completely demolishing it. Yeah, but it's like if you're gonna get one character which can combo Bowser, it might as well be Falco. Like if one up tilt hits, it's just gonna be an unskippable cutscene for Elcos, but he might be able to survive those long enough to exploit Falco's relatively lightweight and get some extremely early stocks.
It's triplets again, though. This time, though, it's better for Falco because Falco does get those amazing up-air screens with just platform use. But you never want to see a triplat Bowser hit you on the top platform. He's only him out with the laser, but he gets neutral bead, and it's 67. Yeah, I could see a death now from Bowser.
Yeah. The thing is, like, in neutral B, even though Bowser does have tough guy armor, that laser just does just enough damage to break through it. Like a lot of rapid jabs don't break through the armor, but that laser's just enough to keep Bowser at bay. And you see it a lot of in his approach. Like if he jumps or just walks up to him, Bowser gets interrupted by the laser, and that makes his approach just that little bit harder.
Yeah, but CBF is on kill percent now for Bowser. Any side B on the top platform is going to kill him, and so will a down smash on the ledge. Or an F for that. I mean, a lot of things for Bowser will kill now.
Basically anything at this point. He is looking for them very greedily, I would say.
There we go, that side B, not even on the top platform. He seems to start at 107, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been punished. That could have been dead.
Just shoot him.
But I somehow shielded that laser too, so nothing came out of it. Oh, very good. Very good conversion there from CBF, but it gets up smashed by which doesn't take the stock. Bowser very strong. Saw him survived to 200 before. Tries to read the tech there, the tech roll, but doesn't get it. Smart on the ledge. Holding as much as he can because Bowser is very dangerous on the ledge. This up smash there didn't connect. A lot of things that didn't connect that are not connected right now. Yeah.
It seems like CBF is looking for that backer, but maybe just a little bit too much. I see him use a lot of empty hops or just try to get a landing area, but not getting anything done. He just empty-hopping, and that is resulting in him already being on 83%.
That's Greece for you.
Yeah.
After the tournament with Switzerland in the lead, going to round 2. With 5 stocks too.
Yeah, it wasn't that close. Yeah, they still had 2 players left. Yeah, Switzerland doing a phenomenal job there.
If Switzerland didn't have that 5th player.
Yeah, it's always a tough to see you go down like that, but I think a lot of players actually performed really well from the Greek team.
Yeah, it
Elko's
was a nice standing for them.
yeah, sometimes it just goes that way. I think that the strong performance for the Swiss team mainly had to do with them having a very good session with Mike at the beginning, taking 5 stocks for his team, and then it just went downhill from there. You have to close the gap, and that's the pressure you need to take on your shoulders as the opposing team.
Yeah, sometimes you just ride that momentum, and momentum is everything in a crew battle. If you go in knowing we're winning and all I have to do is just play my game, it's just like it's such an advantage for the winning team. It looks to me like we're going on another break, though. It was so nice commentating with you.
Yeah, likewise. Very nice to commentate with you. I think the match that will be following here is going to be, let me take a quick look. It's gonna be Belgium versus Turkey.
Belgium versus Turkey, yeah. A small scene versus Belgium, yeah.